So about a day ago, I made a community post on my channel asking people what do people want to know about Tekken 8? What is everybody curious about? And I have about like 5 things that I would like to speak about, but I'm gonna go ahead and segment those because they each have their own place, right? So two of them that I want to talk about right now, one being Tekken 7's rage system and Tekken 8's heat system. Now, not heat. Rage has been in the game since, well, I've been playing this game Tekken since Tekken 6, and it's always had rage. Rage being the comeback mechanic in being where if you get yourself a good counter hit, you could potentially win the round if you place your bets correctly. Now, in Tekken 8, you have heat, but then you also have rage. So that's kind of like double the damage. And in a game where you're surrounded by damage monsters, it can definitely get a little bit jarring considering that this game is pretty much like Street Fighter in a way, right? And that's what I've been saying from the beginning. I've said that the heat system makes Tekken 8 feel like Street Fighter 6 because when you think about it, in Tekken, in not Tekken, in Street Fighter you have what is it? Whatever the terminology is in that game, you have moves that act just like the moves that are in this game, where it's all colorful and all this stuff. You hit the guy, and it's just you got the dashes, the moves that you can cancel into and go into, and Tekken 8 pretty much is falling in the same pathway as that. And I've said that in the beginning. That's kind of why I didn't enjoy Heat because it felt too much like Street Fighter, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, we already had ourselves in Akuma, we already had 2Ds, so I wasn't sure how meter was going to affect the gameplay overall. And considering that Heat is for everybody, it was just like, okay, well, this is a new mechanic. We'll see how it goes. And so far, it's kind of like, wow, it's kind of crazy. Depending on which character you are, you know what I'm saying? You get a little crazy. And yeah, you get the idea. Um, Another thing, though, I wanted to touch on is someone commented. I'm gonna call them XD because their name is quite strange. Shoutouts to XD. He asked me a question. He said, "Since Josie isn't in 8 and I lost 2 of my mains, can you talk about how you can personally learn a new character overall, really?" So talking about learning a new character even when your mains get cut. Now this has been a thing that I've been coping with ever since Tekken 8 dropped. As you guys know, I am the Josie guy. I've done a whole bunch of cool things with her, and I've always wanted to see her in this game. But considering that she isn't, and Josie was pretty much my stronghold, strong clutch, my gauntlets of faith, in Tekken 7, going to a new game, not really playing any of these guys really, it was tough. It was really tough because in the beta, I played Azucena because I was like, okay, I don't have Josie, so how can I play this fucking. All right, bro. Look, yeah. So here's the thing, right? If you are coping since if okay, let's say you're a Josie player, right, and you're coping with the fact that she's gone in this game, you can try Azucena, but take it from me, who's been playing Josie since season 1, you're not gonna get the same effect. these are two completely different characters with two different objectives, I would say. Josie is, of course, counter hit heavy, but again, these also, to another thing to say as well, Tekken 7 and 8 systems are also different. But at the same time, I would say their objectives is kind of the same, isn't it? Getting good counter hits in a sneaky sort of way. But Azucena's, I mean, as you can see right now, she's just, you know, she is the Lucky Chloe of Tekken 8. That part was really goofy to me. I'm not really too big on the personality being an object sort of deal. Hers being the coffee and her eyes screaming, "Help me! I'm in pain." But yeah, there's that. But back to the main chunk of what I was speaking of. Picking Azucena and trying to cope with losing a main, it's definitely difficult because a thing that is very present, and I'm gonna be speaking from my experience with playing this character here. Playing this character, you really find yourself doing the same combos over and over. She doesn't have a lot of sauce. And that's the thing that I've stressed about playing Josie all this time is I've stressed so much like, all right, guys, you need to maximize your combos. You know, forward three stuff, while standing 2-1 or whatever. Getting big girl combos. You know, like say for instance, on Heihachi, Josie can get on the wall 1-2 down back 4-2-3, and it'll get the grounded hit stuff like that. But with Azucena, in terms of combos, she is really lacking, and that's something that really turned me off a bit. There's that and her very weird stance, her liberator and back turn stances. I find myself getting thrashed a lot, being as they now the gimmick is you can evade highs and lows, you know, with the stance, but overall, nine times out of 9.5 times out of 10, you're gonna find yourself getting blown up with crazy mids. Like, it's not like she is not like Josie with the fact where you can still sneak in stuff and still tear them to shreds. I'm talking about stances, mind you. Her stance is people are gonna swing because they know she can't do anything about mids, and her, I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing, right? And her whole play style being centered around getting that liberator stuff or whatever, it feels too sticky. Like for instance, Josie had her 3-2 forward, which goes into her crouch dash. They tried to do the same thing with her, 3-2 forward. But what ends up happening is if you use that in neutral, people are gonna swing because Azucena, she literally goes like this, kick, and then the person just like bet and just launches her to Saturn. So her stances, me personally, I've had trouble trying to make her stances work. Sometimes, you know, here and there I'll have some success where there are times where they do a big swinging high, and then I get around them and do like one uppercut thing, or I'm in the stance and they do a low and they get kicked twice, or she does the little back kick thing and they get launched in the air. But overall, it's kind of just like I'm not really feeling it. So my answer to that, learning a new character when you lose your main, I would say pick someone that you find interesting. Like, if I didn't play this game, if I never played Tekken at all, and I go into this game and I'm me knowing the person that I am, I'm like, damn, I don't know who to pick. But then I look at Steve and then I see, oh, okay, I'm a martial artist. I like boxing. So I'm gonna pick him because he appeals to things that I actually do in real life and whatever. So I'm gonna pick him, right? And whoever else I think looks cool. So that can save you from the poison that is the coping, the coping machine. I'm telling you, I've been slurping on some cope juice myself, but over time you get over it, and it's fuck, and you. I'm sorry, that was a little bit of resentment, like staring at her. You see a little bit of Chloe, and then you see it's like she's taunting you. It's like, ha, I freaking kicked your main to the curb, right? And it's just like, wow. But over time, you'll get over it. You'll get over it. And for people that actually have their mains, about like everybody else, literally everybody else, everybody's in this goddamn game. Almost everybody from the main cast of 7 is in this game. So a lot of people are happy, even though they play these fucking, even though they mainly play these guys. What the fuck, right? They play the weeb and the freaking French Noctis, but it is what it is, right? Just pick who you think is interesting and go on from there. That's all I can say. Right now, as you can see, in a second, I'm gonna show you. I've hit Mighty Ruler with Azucena, and I've told myself, I'm not gonna treat it like Tekken 7, where I'm sticking to one character and trying to blow up all the way to max rank. No, I was gonna try to play other characters, and I think that's the hype of this game right now, is playing other characters and seeing where the hell you can go, which is why I've picked up Steve. Now, having said that, playing Steve, there's a lot of muscle memory that you have to gather. Now, me playing Steve since Tekken 6, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. I wouldn't say easy. It's the learning curve is palpable, right? You can get into it easier if you have the muscle memory. So, like for specialist characters like Lee, Steve, Dragunov, what have you, Brian, you can get into Brian in like 5 minutes and then be doing back ones and 3+4s and all the rest, right? And hatchet kicks, and you'll be fine. So yeah, Steve, I'm gonna be playing Steve for a while, because first of all, I've been playing Steve for a long time, and I think he's really cool, and boxing is my thing. And not too much has changed about Steve. Not too much has changed. He's got a few new things that I really enjoy, and I'm gonna be grinding on. Pause. I'm gonna be upgrading my Steve so I can start playing him online as well. So yeah, ultimately, if your mains get cut, just try to pick a new character and try to deal with it the best you can. We have 3 more characters coming in very soon. First one's gonna be Eddie, so that's gonna be. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Tekken 8 Eddie in Heat. He's going to be relaxing in Heat. He's going to be on his hands in Heat. He's going to be doing a front flip in Heat. His Heat engager is going to be another cartwheel or something, So we'll have to see what that's going to be about. But yeah, man, just pick someone you think is cool. It doesn't have to be Azucena, because she's not the same. Take it from me, who's been playing Josie for many years. She is not like... Azucena is not like Josie. So go ahead and pick someone you think is cool looking or something, and go on from there. Trust me when I say you will be fine. Yeah, you'll be okay.